Hi, everybody. This is Debbie Kramer. I'm the Accessible Technology and Government Documents Librarian here at Colgate University. Today, I just want to give you a very quick introduction into doing research in LGBTQ studies. So first thing you want to do is you want to go to the library's homepage. We are at cul.colgate.edu or Google Colgate Libraries. I'm going to scroll down to the course and subject guides page. If you've seen any of my other videos, you've probably heard this several times, but I'll go over it again. This is our LibGuides or library guides page. We have three different types. We have the course guides. These are specifically for particular courses created by librarians in collaboration with your professor to support your research. We also have subject guides. These are organized by majors, minors, and programs here at Colgate, and it's just collections of resources to help people do research in those areas. And then the topic guides, which is everything else. And what we want to do is we want to go into the subject guides, and I'm going to scroll down to the LGBTQ studies. Click in here. You can see it has a nice little picture of me, so you know you're in the right place. This page has all sorts of suggestions, encyclopedias, articles, books, search terms, newspapers, legal data, films, information about pronouns, as well as the queer activism at Colgate timeline for you. The most important thing that I want to talk about for this video, the thing that sets doing LGBTQ studies apart from doing research in other areas, is the search terms. So I'm first going to go into the books/search terms page. And so this is specifically about finding books. It's about finding books in our library, but also it kind of covers how, if you're looking for any type of books, what type of subject headings it's going to use. So a lot of libraries use the Library of Congress subject headings, or LCSH. And these are developed, they're not going to be necessarily the preferred language or the most recent language for any of this. It's going to be just kind of generalized language that was agreed upon by librarians who work in English. So a few things you'll notice, obviously you're not going to be able to browse our shelves in Case, as Case and Cooley are both closed. But you can see some of the language that is used here: psychology of sex, two-spirit, general works on sexual minorities. That might be another search term you might want to look. Bisexuality, homosexuality, and lesbianism, gay and lesbian studies, lesbians, gay men, same sex. So you can see we've got a bunch of stuff here. In the middle area where we have the subject headings, these will go through and kind of describe specifically how they're used. For example, coming out is only used for coming out in regards to your sexual orientation. Instead of using drag queens, library catalogs tend to use female impersonators. This was a decision that was made, I believe, back in the early 2000s, maybe even the late 90s. And libraries have just kind of stuck with it since. So that hasn't ever been updated. Gay can be used as gay can be added in as with descriptor terms or countries. So you can use gay college students, gay athletes, or gay China or China gay, refer specifically to people. As in, if you want to speak about gays generally as a community, you'd use gays, gay and lesbian studies, gay rights, gender identity. Here's a really important one: homosexuality. So a lot of our databases and a lot of our catalogs are going to use homosexuality, because a lot of the research done on this, especially historically, but even up until today, homosexuality is seen as the academic way of referring to queer individuals. So you're going to probably be wanting to add in searching homosexuality to any kind of search that you're going to do. You can see here, instead of drag kings, they also prefer male impersonators. Sex change, again, not preferred terms, but simply by clicking on any of these terms, it'll take you into our catalog, and it'll show you all the books that we have that are tagged with these subject headings. So we have 18 books that are tagged with sex change. We have one book on sex change case studies. We have one book that is sex change personal narratives, sex change psychological aspects, sex change surgery. Instead of searching sex change surgery, you would just search sex change. Here are entered works on the surgical and hormonal alteration of a person's biological sex characteristics. Again, not going to be preferred terms, but this is what they use. This is how they organize this information. So this gives you some information about some of those search terms. And these are specifically for books. Now I'm going to click over onto the page on articles. And this has some more information about terminology, also specifically geared towards when you're searching articles. So especially when you're looking at any kind of article databases, obviously homosexual or homosexuality are two phrases you're going to have to be searching. One thing I'd like to point out to people is so in 2006, EBSCOhost, who are a producer of academic databases like Academic Search Premier, they actually partnered with a lot of experts in the queer studies and trans studies areas, and they came up with a really great terminology, a really great collection of vocabulary to use for their LGBT life database. And they since also started using it for their other databases. So searching EBSCOhost is actually really great to use their subjects, their subject headings, because you're going to get much better, much more accurate kind of results. The other issue is when you're searching, and especially if you're so the phrase lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, LGBTQ tends to get used a lot, and just about any time it gets used in most academic publications, they still will write it out as LGBTQ, meaning lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer. So if you're looking for anything about trans populations, you're probably, if you just do like a keyword search for transgender, it's going to come up with a lot of hits where it just comes up in the phrase LGBTQ, but it's not necessarily referring to trans individuals. It could be referring to lesbians who are cisgender. So, so with any of our databases, you can also, if you specifically want to look for trans research, go ahead and search transgender or transsexual as a subject terms and not as a keyword search. And then I have a number of databases here that you might want to use, as well as some full text peer-reviewed journals that you can just browse through, as well as just looking for what other kind of journals do we have in these, in gay and lesbian studies and gender studies and sexuality. Just kind of general information on there. And that's the big thing to kind of keep up is terminology has changed over the years. So if you're looking for research and you want to find out, okay, so find articles from the 1970s, it's going to say homosexual, or it could even say homophile. That was another phrase that was very popularly used in academic writings. So you have to kind of be kind of aware of how the terminology changes and what kind of terminology you might want to use for your particular research. And again, we have a few data resources, legal resources, films that we have that you're not really going to be able to check out, of course. Information just on background and development of gender neutral pronouns, and then the queer activism at Colgate timeline, which was developed by a class here at Colgate. It's just taking a little while to load up. Part of the bicentennial program. This just sets up and goes through and talks about First Gay Student Alliance formed on campus, goes through queer activism at Colgate. So this is your guide. If you have any questions or anything, you're having any problems doing any kind of research in queer or trans studies, please let me know. You can contact me. I am Debbie Kramer. You can reach me at my email, which is dkramer@colgate.edu or dkrahmer@colgate.edu. You can set up an appointment with me. We can meet through Zoom or other things, but usually the fastest way to get a hold of me is to just send me an email. So thank you very much for taking some time out of your day to view this. I hope you find it helpful. Again, any questions, let me know. And thank you very much for your time.